So, this is an Audi A5 and it's a 4-door coupe with a sport back. This car has 190 horsepower and a 2.0 diesel engine. And yes, that's the main focus of today's video. Are diesel cars worth it in 2023? Or are they a technology of the past? This 190 horsepower diesel car has a 2.0 liter engine on the back. And in my opinion, if you ask me, it's a very, very practical car. The Audi A5 looks beautiful, has tons of space on the boot, and it rides very comfortably. Very sporty, and it looks very, very cool. But again, the main question stands, are diesel cars worth it or not? So, if you liked today's video, don't forget to drop a like down below, subscribe to the channel, let's get started. As for the front of this car, as you can see, is very aggressive. It has these lines going over the hood that make the car look very sporty. Again, it's an Audi A5. An Audi A5 is always sporty. Behind this hood, we have a 2.0 liter, 190 horsepower diesel engine. Again, a diesel engine. Is this car worth it because of the diesel engine? This is the big question I will answer in today's video, because it's not as simple as you think. So, take one last big look at the diesel engine of this car. Again, a marvelous of engineering. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about a diesel engine car. I know probably in America it's not that common, but here in Europe they are very, very common. So let me know in the comments down below what you think about the diesel engine.
This 2-liter diesel engine is very important because it's very common among European cars. But again, how does a diesel engine work? In a diesel engine, the operating cycle starts with clean air, not with a mixture of air and fuel. As in a conventional gasoline engine, the motion of the piston compresses the air, heating it up to a high temperature. When the piston nears the top of the cylinder, fuel is injected under the high pressure. Through a number of precisely machined holes in the tip of the fuel injector, the fuel enters the engine in the form of fine spray, and the surface of each droplet quickly begins to vaporize on its path through the hot air. Spontaneously, ignition takes place, without the need for a spark, and rapid expansion of the combustion mixture increases the pressure in the cylinder, forcing the piston down and powering the vehicle. When the piston is close to its lowest position, the exhaust valve starts to open, and the exhaust stroke then drives the spent gases out of the combustion chamber, and the cycle starts again. In conventional gasoline engines, a mixture of fuel and air is drawn into the cylinder, compressed by the motion of the piston and ignited by a spark, as the piston nears the top of its cylinder, which forces the piston down to power the vehicle.
So, let's now talk about the design. So, as for the design of this car, this is a coupe. Although it has 4 doors, it's a 4-door coupe, it's still a coupe. And so the design is very aerodynamic. Goes from the front to the back like a water drop. And it has some cool quirks and features. Again, it has this weird thing here, but that gives it a very sporty look. This is a package, and it's from the package of the S-Line. This car has the S-Line package, which makes it more sporty than usual. It's pretty worth it, quite expensive, but gives you 20 or 18-inch wheels, and it gives you all of this appearance of a more sporty car. Imagine an RS car without the motor inside of it. Then, of course, you have the handles, which is also very weird because they do not up from the back to the front. No, they go up. Different from the Teslas, but still different nonetheless. The doors, again, have this very quirky feature where from a coupe, you can see they have this window. The window detaches from the frame, not like normal cars where the frame comes with it. This creates some wind noise, but at the end of the day, it's still very cool. All of the coupes have these features, but one feature that all of the coupes don't have, and this one has, is 4 doors, which gives you more space on the back and, of course, better comfort after all. This is a very practical car as well, a very sporty car. As for the wheels, they are very beautiful, and they are an aftermarket ones. These did not come with the car. The wheels on this car are one of my favorite parts. As you can see, they are painted, of course. These are not original wheels. You get them on this shape, but you will have to paint them. This is an aftermarket deal, but still very beautiful. They are, I think, if I'm not wrong, 18 or 19-inch wheels. 19-inch wheels. These wheels are big. They make the car a little bit less comfortable, more, like I would say, more sporty, but less comfortable. But still, they look incredible, and from a distance, this car looks extremely sporty for the price that it is. Again, not a comfortable car, but nonetheless, an Audi, which just make it more premium, more sporty than most cars on the road. Diesel car, but still very, very beautiful. Let's now get into the back to talk about one of the biggest features of this coupe four-door car, which is the space. It's not that bad, not as bad as you think at least. Let's get into the car to show you how good it is. As you can see, you have a lot of space on your knees. This is my driving position, but you still have tons of space on the knees and on the head. Maybe the head, if you are like 6 foot, it will be close. For me, I'm 5'7", 5'8". You will not notice. You still have a lot of space. It's a lot of comfortable. Like, it's a diesel car. You don't have batteries on the ground like other electric cars. So your knees will actually be very flat with the ground, like a 90 angle position. Very comfortable to drive on the back. You still have these climate change things, like a small computer where you can change the climate, up, down, a 12-volt socket, and more space. Again, this is not a back side car, like it's not its focus, but it's still very comfortable. Again, one of the most annoying features on this car is these windows. They do not roll farther than 50%. I know this is a coupe, and all coupes have this problem, but please Audi, this is 2023. This is one of the most annoying things on this car. Since I was a child, I've been riding on the back of cars, and this has annoyed me so much that I don't really enjoy riding on the back of this car, just because of the window. Sometimes you're just a little bit sick, you need a bit of air, and God, this thing is extremely annoying. I cannot tell you, like, if you have a car with this, you will understand me. Again, Audi, this is probably the most annoying feature on this car. Other than that, I don't have much to complain. Let's now talk about the rear end of this car. As you can see, looks extremely good. It's very sporty. It has these very hard lines that define the design of this car. This car all around has these very sharp lines that make it look sportier than it actually is. This car, in my opinion, looks better than the Audi A7 because although it's smaller and less sporty, this car with all of its lines, size and proportions looks, in my opinion, better, just plain better. And the best feature about the Audi A5, A7 and all of the Audis from the most recent times is the headlight design. This headlight design is extremely cool, not even just because it looks good, but it flashes on a very cool way. I cannot describe you, but it's almost like a line of LEDs just flowing and showing where you will go. Very cool, in my opinion, extremely good. One thing that is also aftermarket on this car is this spoiler, as you can see. This spoiler is not first party, you can get it from Audi, but it will cost you extra. And the paint color for the Audi symbol being black is also an aftermarket, being part of the black pack of this car. Costs you around 4,000 euros, but do not quote me on that. I think it's still very expensive, but I'm not sure on that price. Then, of course, we have the boot, which will surprise you for a car of this category. Let's open the boot of this car, and as you can see, this is huge. This is a sportback car, so the entry for the boot is very wide. It has my camera gear, my backpack, my jacket, but still, this car offers you 480 liters of space on a sporty four-door coupe. It's insane the way that the boot is constructed. It gives you so much space to put your wallet, to put your backpack, to put your suitcases, anything that you can put here and fits. You can fit like 2 persons in here. It's extremely big, cool, like one of my favorite parts of this car. And that's why I think it's very practical, because the boot is huge, the back space, it's usable, and it's still a four-door coupe that's extremely sporty, although, again, has a diesel engine on it. You gotta decide on that. So, like I've told you 1,000 times in today's video, this is a diesel car, takes diesel, spends around 60 miles per gallon, which is equivalent to 5.5 to 6 liters at 100 kilometers. So it's very economic, and it's maybe one of the best features of this car being its economy. But still has 190 horsepower, can do 0 to 100 in about 7.4 seconds, and so gets diesel. Let me know in the comments below what you think about diesel. It also takes AdBlue, which is a mixture that you take with your car to reduce its emissions. And that's maybe the biggest issue with a diesel style car. It's very dirty. So it does not emit as much CO2 as a gas car, but emits other stuff that ruin the experience for the environment. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below which is the biggest compromise for you, the AdBlue with diesel or gas car. The interior on this car might be the best thing on it. It's extremely premium. Again, it's an Audi. Every interior on an Audi is good, from the base models to the most expensive ones. This has leather steering wheel, has Alcantara seats, has a very, very easy to use operating system. It has CarPlay, which, as you can see, really easy to use. And it's not touch. You can use this wheel here on the bottom, which has buttons everywhere. my favorite, I don't like touchscreens while you are driving. It bothers a lot of people and myself included. I don't like it. I forgot to mention the coolest part on this interior. And this is this gear change. This is an automatic car. But again, if I turn it on, diesel car engine sound, and I can put it to reverse, neutral, directions, and then go into manual, which is, again, this motion, and then up and down on the shifts. Very cool, again, audio. You can put it on park, put it on automatic again, and all these motions feel extremely premium. This feels very good. It's all covered in leather. One of my favorite parts of this interior. Again, brands, please make your cars better built. I don't care if I have to pay $5,000 more. Give me better interiors. As for the climate control again, buttons and these dials, which are very easy to use.
This car also has heated seats for both the passenger and the driver.
On the front, you have two options. You have these normal indicators for your speed and your rotations, and you have a screen on the center, or you have Audi's digital cockpit. This car does not feature that. In the beginning, it was a bummer for me, but now, after a while, I think I enjoy more these analogic ones, because I think they look better, they look future-proof, and at the long run, I think it was the best decision. Again, the interior on this car has everything. You have these paddles on the back when you go into manual mode. Very cool. You have the horn. This steering wheel, it's different. It has this cut design, and it's very sporty. Leather everywhere. Very, very well built. You have these materials here, which are soft. They are not hard. There's no hard plastic on this interior. Even on the doors, the door handles, the buttons, every single thing feels like premium. This is an Audi, and that's what you pay for. Premium design, premium interior, and it's a very good looking one. So, in terms of the interior, you will feel like you are in a very, very, very expensive car. Although, when compared to nowadays cars like on this price range, the Tesla Model 3, the Tesla Model Y, those interiors are not even comparable. Even other electric cars, I think in today's day and age, brands are skipping out on the interior, and it's a shame. Because this car costs you around 50,000 to 60,000 euros and still delivers the interior that it's 100 times better than today's cars. But let me know in the comments down below what you think about this interior. Do you enjoy it, or do you think it's not minimal enough? So, for the display system here on the car, it's very rudimentary. This is a 2017, 2018 car. The most recent ones have the more recent operating system from Audi, but I think this one is really easy to use. You use this scrolling wheel at the bottom and you navigate around these settings. You have different settings. This is in Portuguese, of course, but again, you have the radio, you have the phone, the maps, and you go into Audi's smartphone interface, which is Audi CarPlay. This also features CarPlay. You'll have to connect your phone. Right now it's not connected, but if you connect, just click here and it's normal CarPlay. It's not touch, as you can see. If I touch it, doesn't do anything. You have to use the scroll wheel on the bottom, which has also these shortcut buttons and these buttons for your radio or other settings. This car, it's still very analogic, but in my opinion, these are the best ways to interact with the operating system of the car. Easy to use while you're driving, and that's what it matters. So, how it is driving this car? Well, pretty simple. This is a diesel type car. So this car is very comfortable, very easy to drive. It's automatic, so it shifts gears automatically. It's very easy to drive, like I told you. Fast, well, not that much. But again, 0 to 100 in 7.4 seconds, you don't need that much. It's very economic, consumes about 6 liters at 100 kilometers. The interior is premium. Driving this car is easy. The steering wheel is very light, very easy to maneuver. And when you want, you just put it on sport mode, which is just on this button. You can change between efficiency, comfort, auto, or dynamic. But when you put it on sport mode, the motor reacts faster, gets faster, it's easier to drive. But again, you don't want that on a diesel type car, because this car is supposed to be efficient, not fast, not sporty. Although it's a coupe-like car, it's from just looks, not the engine. The engine is a 2.0 liter diesel engine, not the best in my opinion for driving dynamics and sport mode. But again, what do you want? Efficiency from diesel car. What do you want? Good looks. If you don't want performance, then the diesel car is just for you. If you don't want that, then I would recommend going for a gas car. But let's just hit some curves and see how it handles.
The driving dynamics of this car are very limited by the front wheel drive. I will explain later while I'm taking some turns, but it's actually very easy to understand. Normally, cars, they have a four-wheel drive system, or they are run the traction on the back wheels. This one doesn't, it focuses on the front wheels, which does not allow you to do donuts or fun stuff. And also, it's a little bit less fun when you are hitting turns, you don't have as much stability. Again, it's safer, not as fun.
Hitting some turns on this car, not the best, but that's because this is a front-wheel drive car. That's the biggest problem with this car. I cannot forgive Audi for doing this. If I will hit this turn here, a U-turn, to make the U-turn available, you can feel, if you are driving this car, you can feel the car sliding from one side to another, because this is a front-wheel drive car, does not grab the ground like you want to. When you have a back-wheel drive car, or even a four-wheel drive car, you don't have these problems. This was a car and a decision made by Audi because they wanted this car to be cheaper to manufacture, safer. But I think they ruined the driving dynamics of this car. I'm not sure, I need to test more, but I think by the time I have this car, I would prefer if it was a back-wheel drive car. But small things, again, diesel engine, front-wheel drive car, what can I tell you? Not every car is perfect. So, I'm gonna launch this car now. Again, this is a diesel car, you don't have to launch it. The objective of this car is not to launch this car. 0 to 100 in only 7.4 seconds, so it's not that fast compared to electric cars. But for you to see how it is when launching it, let's launch it. Foot on the brake, feet on the gas. Let's do it. Get ready, go. Yep, that's it. Traction lost, as you saw. This car is not made to do this, but you can do it. I did not reach even 100 kilometers per hour, but very fast. Still, again, feels fast, not fast. That's the part of this video that I want you to retain. So, a diesel car. This drives well, looks good, it's practical, it's amazing. But again, it has a diesel engine on its side. Do you like diesel engines, or do you prefer gas cars? I think the biggest question here depends on two factors. A diesel car is good for long drives, where it's more economic and better simply to have a cheaper car to drive that gets more economy. But a gas car is more fun, it's faster, louder. I think a gas car, to a weekend car to be fun, this is the one. I don't think so. I think a gas car is better. I think buying this car in the gas version would be cooler, but the diesel car is always cool for you that likes to drive 1,000 miles in a day and wants to spend the least amount of money possible. If you don't drive that much, I would recommend electric car. That's the better, the faster, the more economic, the better looking. Nowadays, I think electric cars are the future. Diesels have a space in 2023, but it's shrinking every single day. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Don't forget to drop a like down below, subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys for all your support. This has been another car review. Bye-bye.